Hi guys, welcome to the talky part of the video. So it's been quite a little while. My car's been away for quite a little while, 6 months all in all, and it's been a long process. In this part of the video, we'll talk a little bit about where it's been, why it's been where it's been, and some of the reasons for it taking so long, and a bit about the end results as well, and all the upgrades put together that it's essentially had through that time. The car originally went in at the beginning of January, basically went into V-engineering to have the engine and gearbox removed, and then the engine was taken across to Race Engine Build, Dave at Race Engine Build. The engine was completely rebuilt there, and the work that it had done was quite comprehensive. So we had new rods. They were made by a company called Italian RP, which are far superior to the stock rods. And if you've actually seen the stock rods in one of my previous videos, then they are quite feeble really for such a high-end vehicle in my opinion. New pistons, P13 pistons, which are a Mclaren piston because the pistons are actually quite good. They're the same pistons that are fitted to the P1. New liners, as has been discussed previously, the liners can fail. So we again had P1 generation liners put in there, which do not fail. We had the rockers replaced. So the rockers are another potential point of failure. We had them DLC coated as well. This basically helps prevent the weakness and the failure point because it increases lubricity and the way in which the rockers function against the cams. We also decided at the time to have uprated injectors fitted. Now they're not really being run at capacity at the moment. It does mean that they're not working particularly hard, and that in the case of a future upgrade, the car's more than capable of doing that. So they're injector dynamics injectors, 1050cc, made by Bosch, which is the recommended upgrade path from Engineering. We had the turbos hybridized, so we decided to go based on Dave at Race Engine Build's experience, a company called TTE, or the Turbo Engineers. It's a German company. So the stock Mitsubishi turbos went away there, and they were upgraded to the TTE 900 turbos, which obviously, as you can tell by the name, are capable of 900 brake horsepower. Also, we had, while the gearbox was out, we had a Senna catch can fitted. That effectively overcomes a gearbox sweating issue. If any of you are aware or watch McLaren upgrade videos on a regular basis, then it's quite a common fault to have a bit of minor oil leakage from the gearbox. This overcomes that issue. And then finally, which again was a on-the-fly decision, I was given the opportunity to have a prototype WaveTrack LSD fitted. This particular LSD is a hybrid design, so it's half ATB and half mechanical. It has all the functional advantages of an ATB diff in the respect that it's very silent and you don't know that it's operating. It doesn't click or catch or hook like a plated diff can, but it doesn't suffer the downfall of an ATB in that if you get a wheel lift off, it still functions, whereas an ATB doesn't. So quite a massive amount of work. I have to say thank you to the vast majority of people involved in the upgrading process. It is quite difficult, especially if you do it like I did it, where you have multiple companies doing the work. It's quite difficult in a sort of logistical fashion to make it all work, and I ended up doing a lot of portering around. I was literally delivering my engine in the back of a van as well as my gearbox, but all the companies were top notch. V-engineering as usual. The grandmaster behind it all, who kind of orchestrated the whole affair, was Dave at Race Engine Build, who spec'd the engine for me, and obviously endless amounts of advice along the way. He was just like amazing, and I followed the whole process right through. Shout out to Renworks in Stevenage. Renworks are fairly new to being a McLaren independent specialist. The McLaren side of it is run by an ex-McLaren technician called Sam, who also has a relationship with Steve at V-engineering, top guy. He's the one who supplied me with the prototype LSD. And then finally, the mapping. So one of the main reasons why there was quite a sizable delay was problems with the mapping. We went with a company and it all kind of went wrong. It turned out that the software they supplied wasn't the software they said they were going to supply, and then there were problems with the car. So yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. Or yeah, it was a complete nightmare, to be honest. So Dave ended up stepping in and hooking me up with MSL Performance, based in Birmingham, and introduced me to Acid, top guy. And I ended up going with M Engineering. It is the de facto software for these cars, and now having got it, I can see why it's the best. I didn't want to pay out for it at the time, and it was like really pushing me over budget, but Dave managed to bargain a good deal for me on it. And then on top of that, we just had to get it done because the car was non-functioning really. So we went with M Engineering software. The software's really good, really sophisticated. For those of you who don't know, your ECU comes out of the car, it goes to the States, they load their base software onto the ECU, it comes back. It's a very quick process considering the ECU normally gets there in 24 to 48 hours, turn it around in about a day, and then it comes back again. And from then on, everything can be done through the OBD port. So you get supplied with a little dongle that you can plug into the OBD port, and that in turn can be plugged into your laptop along with their custom M-Tuner software. You just basically download the app from their website, and it gives you the control of everything. You can literally, yeah, do anything you want within the car. Change any specification of the tuning, wipe out errors, find out exactly why an error has occurred, etc., etc. You can flash new maps onto it. You can log. Logging is basically letting your computer record the engine's performance on various different road types and at various different speeds. You can then record that. It gets recorded as an Excel file, and that can be sent back to M Engineering to make a revision on the map. That's happened once already, not by my instigation, but Acid, being very particular, wanted to refine the map as much as possible. So it's already had one reflash, which is really quite easy to do. I'll talk about that a bit more later. But yeah, just an amazing tool, and you can see why it costs the big bucks. So am I happy with the car? Yes, the car is pretty amazing. It's incredibly smooth and refined, and yet insanely fast. I still haven't got final data, but we know that it's around 800 horsepower essentially. So yeah, a massive amount of power delivered in an incredibly refined way. The LSD seems to control that power very well. You have to be careful. I mean, I wouldn't be flooring the car unless everything's nicely warmed up, including the tires. I'm still running Cup 2s, so all the M Engineering literature says that you need a sticky tire like a 888 or a Cup 2 in order to ensure that you put the performance down with one of their maps on board. The feature setup, obviously, of the hardware is just excellent. It's integrated fully with the vehicle, and since I've had the M Engineering software for the last week, I've driven the car a fair bit, and there's not even been one issue with it. It's driven very smoothly, and yeah, you can really unleash hell with regards to the power. Would I recommend the upgrade process? Well, it depends how focused you are on upgrading your cars. I would say it's probably not for the faint-hearted. I know I had a few hiccups along the way, but all the companies I dealt with were very supportive. I would say that perhaps it might be smoother if you went with a one-stop shop, but it's very difficult to find a one-stop shop. Initially, when I was shopping around essentially for who was going to take control of the build and the upgrade process, I did go to Ricky at RE Performance, and all the respect to the man, is a top guy. The only reason really why I ended up going through Dave was because of Dave's intrinsic and express experience with Mclaren in particular, and the fact that he built engines for Mclaren within Mclaren for over 10 years and literally knows the 3.8 and the 4-litre engines inside and out to a ridiculous degree. But I need to shout out and thank Ricky as well, because I was in contact with him through the whole process. I basically contacted him and said, look, mate, you can tell me to bleep off if you want, because I'd understand the fact that I've gone with someone else. But yeah, I'd like to stay in contact with you about what happens with the car. and I'm actually going to see him in a couple of weeks so he can have a drive of it. And he knows Dave anyway at Race Engine Build, the sort of like the reputable dealers and the reputable companies and upgrade companies. It is quite a small community. They know about each other generally, and generally have met each other, and they're normally very gracious about each other if they are gentlemen. So big shout out to Ricky for being such a gentleman and offering support and advice all the way along when he's not even making a single penny out of it. The car is insane. In the other parts of this video, we're trying to push the boat out a bit, and we'll be taking some much sort of flashier footage than just me sitting on my driveway as usual, talking about it. And yeah, so it's an awesome machine. It's now insanely powerful. Can you use the power regularly? Probably not. It's something I just wanted to do. I wanted to push the platform further and to the basically let it achieve what it's capable of, because it is capable of a lot more than the stock setup. And for me, this is sort of like a long-term purchase. The car won't be going anywhere for the next few years. I still don't see anything on the market within my price range that I like both visually and from a performance perspective, from a pure driving perspective, as much as a solid V8 petrol driven car. There are obviously hybrids on the market, but they don't really tickle my fancy. So there'll be lots of adventures going forward with this car, which will be following. I'm not finished upgrading yet, so there'll be plenty more content to come. The next stage is more likely for me to focus on cosmetic upgrades now that I've spent an absolute ton of money on performance upgrades. There might be a few more performance tweaks along the way. Next, obviously, would potentially be the fact that we've got an immense amount of power, but I'm still running steel brakes. Although the steel brakes are competent, or they seem so far, I'm toying with the idea of upgrading to carbon ceramics as I drive the car on the road the majority of the time, and therefore I'm unlikely to wear them out. And they'll reduce the weight of the car as well. So lots of things to come. I'm sorry this video has been such a long time in coming, but yeah, we just ran into a few issues along the way. But the car is amazing. Now it's got the right software on it. The engine build was fantastic. It's got some amazing hardware in it, and it's a rocket now. It's an absolute ballistic missile. So thanks very much, guys, and we'll see you in the next part of the video. So as you can see, we're now driving the car finally, rather than me just sitting on my driveway. And what an amazing experience it is. So the car is very point and shoot. You might be able to hear there, we've got the 50% to atmosphere dump valves kicking in, which adds some real drama to the car. Here on this really hot day, it's 33 degrees outside. Thankfully, my aircon is working really well, so it's keeping me nice and cool. And my very good friend Jay is currently outside shooting drone shots. So the car probably has now one more software upgrade to go. It's pretty much perfect. Just had a couple of tiny niggles, a variable idle niggle. That's only been very intermittent though when it gets hot. And then one other niggle, which is I got one warning light, which happened once. But apart from that, the car's been spot on. I've driven 600 miles in it so far already. Just taking this roundabout. Head back down the road where Jay's got his drone waiting. Yeah, so the LSD is amazing. So the acceleration is just immense, never ending. To really tap into that, you have to put it in DRS mode though, so that essentially you're getting minimal traction control, because otherwise that will kick in. But on a warm day like today with the Cup 2s, the car sticks like glue. I haven't had any real problems with traction in this weather at all. You can spin up the wheels if you try really hard, but it's just never-endingly powerful. It just keeps giving and giving and giving. It's just yeah, a never-ending well of power. Everyone that's heard the car has commented that they just think the engine sounds super smooth. So that's down to my friend Dave at Race Engine Build for such a spot-on build with the engine and the components that he used. Obviously, he's put a lot of tender, loving care into the car, and that shows in the way that the way the engine runs and performs. So really quite over the moon with it, to be honest. And it's really great to finally be filming this more sort of slightly action-packed video than previous videos we've had, where you can actually see the car on the road, hear the car a bit better as well, because it does sound better as well. Everyone's commented on that, so it sounds a bit more angry, a bit more grumbly. There was a limit to what we could do with the maps because I run sports cats, so normally they'd like to do things like pops and bangs as an option, but we can't do that because we'll blow the cats up. They can also do crazy stuff like flames as well, but again, we can't do that because otherwise we'll blow the cats up. So yeah, we've just got two maps essentially. So we've got a 99 RON optimized map. That map is obviously for 99 RON fuel and gives max power in that with that type of fuel. And then we've also got a basic map, which is for the odd occasion if you got in a situation where you couldn't get 99 fuel, it'll make the car run on 95. So you can get yourself out of a sticky situation. So yeah, pretty much over the moon with the car. I'm just doing some fast passes here so that Jay can get some good filming in. Beautiful sunny day. I did get sprayed by a salt truck, strangely enough, which is really bloody annoying. Thank God for PPF, I say. But the whole package now is just so complete. It's relentlessly fast, handles incredibly well, it just sticks to the road. The suspension setup that we've got from Litchfield, and then the calibration from Steve at V Engineering is all spot on. All these guys have done immensely good jobs. It's all really come together. Really pleased with the finished product. I'm starting to forget about all the drama now of what I went through trying to get the car done, because it's the performance is just making up for that, I guess. Doing another fast pass here past Jay. It's a good test for the car today actually, because obviously engine's generating a lot more power. How does it cope in the heat? Well, been driving now quite hard for a good 45 minutes, and everything seems spot on. Everything's green, oil temperatures, coolant temperatures, all sort of normal. I took my friend Imran out in it the other day. He owns a 600 LT. He does a lot more track than me, but he wanted to see what it was like. Jesus Christ, that's fast. It's just relentless. So what am I doing next with the car? So as I said in my talky part of the video, I think it's going to be cosmetics in my style that I imbued with the Lotus. I definitely want to keep it OEM plus. I think I have a good eye for that. So I've already got kind of a list of parts, enhanced parts that I'd like to put on the car, cosmetic ones. Still not 100% sold on the wing. I want to keep it in line with the GT philosophy. We're having some badges changed to reflect the power increase, which would be quite cool. They'll look like just like OEM ones, but obviously be different to account for the extra power. But there's some pretty cool bodywork stuff that I think I'm going to get done. I'm going to keep that secret for now, but I think you'll be impressed when you see the finished result. I've already got a pair of 600 LT profile intake scoops waiting to go on. I think I'm going to wait and do all the bodywork all at the same time, so it's more of an overall transformation of the car. So I hope you're enjoying this new video. We've tried to make it a bit more professional this time, rather than just me and my phone camera. JJ, I'm going to come in now, okay? And welcome back to the part of the video where we're going to show you how to use Engineering. So you have essentially what is a little dongle, and you've got a cable which finishes in a mini USB. You can use any Windows or Apple platform as far as I'm aware. I just use one of these, which is a little Windows tablet. I find that straightforward. So we plug this into your OBD, which is under here. Might be a little bit fiddly, and you can tell when it's plugged in because the dongle starts flashing all sorts of rainbow type colors. So we now get into the car and connect our USB to the tablet and open up Engineering app. That pops up straight away, already indicating it's connected. So what we'll do in this case is we'll do a data log. So that's this option here, but we can do all sorts of other options. So we can look at previous maps, we can do a read, we can flash ECU, we can clear faults or read faults. So very comprehensive software. So I'm going to start doing a little data log here. You can actually see, well, you probably can't because it's a little bit far away. We're getting initial data here from the startup of the engine. It's reading the ignition timing, relative load, engine speed, and all sorts of other factors. So I'm going to stop the data log and just turn the engine off. So yeah, that's a brief explanation of how the Engineering software and system works. You can do your data logs while you're driving the car. Essentially, if I'm flashing the car with new software, then I switch the ignition on, so I've got the full display. So I've actually got my rev counter up on here. It'll then give you an option on here to flash. So you click that. It'll then ask you to choose the map. So in this case, Engineering would have sent me a map. So it will come up as a stored option in a file on the computer. You just click on it, you click flash, and as it flashes, a few things will happen. So in typical Mclaren fashion, you'll get lots of dongs and weird noises and stuff happening. You just really need to ignore that. It goes on for about 2 or 3 minutes. So then you turn the ignition off again, back on again, then off again. Then you get out of the car, shut the car, lock the car, open the car, and then when you start the engine, it should all be done. So a fairly straightforward process, a little bit fiddly with all the ons and offs, but other than that, really straightforward. So that's Engineering. how it works, and I'm really happy with it.